Ladies and gentlemen, this is my Audi A6 C7, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to remove the center console. Alright guys, so we're starting in the back seat. You just want to pry out the center aircon around the metal piece, and I find that stuffing one small pry tool and then one big one helps in the prying process and getting it out quite easily, as you see me do here. Now that we have the aircon unit out, it reveals two M8 bolts that clip in on each side. You just want to undo those, and then it's going to free up the whole aircon control unit. You just want to grab with two hands and lift and pull it out. This is going to reveal a bunch of wires that we're about to unclip. So for this first one, you just want to push down the tab and pull it out at the same time. For the second one under here, it's the exact same. Just push down and pull out very carefully. And there you go, those two wires are removed. Now for our last wire, you just need to pull up this red safety pin, and it's going to reveal a black pin that you can push inwards now, and then you push that in and lift it up with a bit of force, you will remove the cable. That's all of our cables removed. You just want to untangle them and then remove the aircon control unit. For the next part, we're going to be removing the air vent, and it starts by removing two cables, one on this side here, which unclips by just pressing down the black tab and pulling out, then the other one on the other side, and then it's held in by these two tabs at the top on each side, which you can just pull out, and the whole thing disconnects. Alright, the next part, we're just going to be removing one bolt, which is going to remove the whole center console storage unit, and it's just going to lift up and out after we undo this bolt. Alright, fantastic. Now we're just going to remove four nuts that are all facing upwards underneath, and these four nuts are the same size as the center console one we just removed, and I'm just going to show you me removing them now. Now you guys can see me undoing the last one there. That's all four of the nuts removed, and that's the last thing we're going to do in the back seat for now. We're going to jump to the front seat. Alright, now we're going to remove the MMI port, and so you just want to slide a pry tool down the back side of it, like so, and then you're just going to want to pop it forward and twist it over. Now that it's twisted over, you're just going to want to pull back this clip at the front, and then the whole thing is just going to pop out right out. Now we're just going to focus on the main MMI control. You want to unclip it from the rear of the car first, because it's easier that way. And it's all just going to unclip out. I recommend putting a smaller pry tool in first and then putting in the bigger one. It's going to allow for an easier pry and make sure you don't break anything. So once you've pried out the front, you then want to go to the back, and it's just one on each side. And once they're both out, you can just lift the whole thing up and you're good. For the next part, we're going to pry off the leather cover of the gear shifter. Once again, shove a small one down and another one on the side. Then you just lift it straight up and over the top of the gear shifter. Then the tricky part here is we're going to twist this black plastic piece 90 degrees, and that's going to unlock it. Then by pressing in the button and lifting at the same time, you can just lift it straight up and out with a bit of force, and that's the gear shift cover removed. So for the next part here, you have the option of removing the control panel entirely, but that would then make the car undrivable, and because I like to drive my car regularly and I don't have a backup car, I'm going to just move it to the side and keep it plugged in and then reinstall it later as a drivable car, and I'll show you guys how to do that. Now that we have the MMI control removed, we're going to remove these two bolts for the ashtray, and once we have removed these, we have to pry out the aircon control unit in the front, which is held in by two clips on the left and the right, and they just pop out straight very easily. Now that we have the wires exposed, there's three caps to pull up. So we pull up these three caps, and it's the same plug design as earlier, where you pull in the black tab and lift with a bit of force at the same time. So once we pop all three of these out, we can then remove the entire control unit free of everything and just put that aside to remove the ashtray. Now we're just going to lift the ashtray straight up and out. You need to pull it forward a little bit and then over the gear shifter but be careful, there's a wire connected to it, and we're just going to unclip that wire now. Now that we have the ashtray removed, it's going to reveal 2 more bolts in the back there for us, where my fingers are, one on each side, and we undo those. Now there are just 2 bolts down behind the gear shifter, close to the rear of the car, and we're just going to undo those 2 as well, and that's going to free up the whole center console part. Now there's just 1 more cable we're going to unclip that's held under there, and just unclip that the same as the others. Alright, good work guys, you're almost done. We're now just going to be lifting it up. Reach your hand underneath where the bolt was for the center cabinet, and you just want to lift it up and shuffle it back. Just loosen it from there. Then we're going to hop back into the front seat so that we can lift it up and over the gear shifter. For this part, you want to rotate the MMI sideways like I do. It's going to let it slide through the bottom when you lift it up and over like I am. And then you just lift it over the gear shifter and slide it into the back seat. And now you just want to hop into the back seat again and just lift it up and out. And it helps if you fold down the seats. I didn't, you can still get it out, but if you fold down the seats, it's easier. Then you just wiggle it out nice and carefully. And there you go. There's your center console fully removed out of your car. And now I'm going to show you guys how to reinstall the MMI and the gear shifter without reinstalling the center console, so you can keep driving the car without the center console in, so you can do some work. So first of all, as you can see, I've just slid the MMI control back over the top, and now I'm going to show you guys how to reset the gear shifter when it's flat and flush like it is right now, and obviously it can't work. And so we're going to jump up to my work desk and I'm going to show you guys how to do that. Alright guys, so what you're going to do for these when it's flush and you've undone it, you reset it. You slide a pry tool under one of the edges. You just pry your way around. There it goes, flying off. Then on the inside here, you want to push from this side here outward. And then you hold it like this when you slip it back on. And so it just clips down. Alright, so now for this part, you just want to slide it. It'll be easier if you pull the leather up to the top. Make sure it's on the unlock, so it's still twisted at 90 degrees. Then you just want to thread it down. There we are. And there you go. And now the button is all well in. And then this part, it just clips on top, like that. And there you go. Now you can even reset the leather, like this. Just pushes down in each corner. And there you go, the car's still drivable. If I turn it on, we can shift between gears, like so. And it still locks in. No issues at all.